Welcome to another episode of Budget Eats. Today we have Budget Birthday. It is my birthday today. We're going to be trying to make a multi-layer birthday cake that is most like my favorite birthday cake ever for $5. We're going to try. I don't know if we're going to succeed. So if you know me, you know that I'm not a great big fan of birthdays. Birthday. You were only born once. It's not a birthday again after that. So I'm gonna petition that today we change the name birthday to cake day. My ideal birthday cake comes from Chinese bakeries. They have a very soft, fluffy sponge cake layered with this light whipped cream, only slightly sweetened, not very buttery at all, but definitely very creamy and rich. My favorite variation has Taro cream in the middle layers. And because heavy cream is so expensive, as is butter, we're gonna try to make this cake without my favorite component, which is the whipped cream frosting. I went shopping yesterday. I grabbed up all the ingredients that I think will fit into this budget. I got some blueberries, still keep some of that fruitiness of the original Chinese bakery birthday cakes in there. I also got some sugar, some taro. It looks like it's from an ancient landscape. Underneath this craggly, fibrous, woodsy surface lies delicious starch. Eggs, a little bit of butter. We're gonna use just a touch of butter. The flour was about $2.69 for a 5-pound bag, so I'm just gonna use whatever flour I have at home and we'll weigh that out and we'll calculate the unit price for that. We're only gonna be using 9 ingredients today. There's gonna be eggs, there's gonna be sugar, flour, cornstarch, a pinch of salt, which I'm not adding into the budget because a pinch of salt is like a penny, guys. We're gonna be using a total of 2 tablespoons of butter. Butter is expensive. Then we're going to be using some taro for the taro cream, some coconut cream to make that taro cream extra creamy and extra fragrant, and blueberries and a splash of vanilla extract. And that's it. Now obviously I can't buy all the ingredients for the cake for under $5, so we're just gonna count the unit price. We're gonna count the price of the ingredient in the amount that is used in this recipe. The first thing that we have to make is the cake, because the cake needs to cool completely before we can put anything else on top of it. The cake that I'm making today is going to be a sponge cake. My general rule of thumb is try not to exceed 2/3 up the height of your cake pan, otherwise it might just be too much batter. We're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. In the bowl of our stand mixer, we're gonna fit it with a whisk attachment. We're going to add 3 whole eggs and 3 egg yolks into the stand mixer. Whenever you are separating egg whites, be sure that your hands are clean and your bowls are clean of all oils and fats. Only water can touch egg whites. If any fats touch egg whites, they will not turn into meringue. Clean hands, clean bowls, no fats. And we're going to whip it until it's lightened and slightly foamy, about 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to gradually add in about a 1/2 cup of sugar, and we're going to keep whipping at medium speed until it's lightened and ribbony, about 8 to 10 minutes more. Meanwhile, in another medium bowl, we're going to sift together the flour, cornstarch, and salt. And in another large bowl, we're going to be using a hand mixer to whip 3 remaining egg whites until they're foamy. We're going to continue whipping them, gradually adding in the remaining bit of sugar that we have until medium stiff peaks form, maybe about 5 minutes. We're going to fold our flour mixture into the whole egg sugar mixture in 2 batches. And once that's fully incorporated, we're going to gently fold in our egg white meringue in 2 batches. Then we're going to add in our cooled melted butter and fold to combine. And then it's time to pour into our cake pans. You know how sometimes you tell people don't do this because it will lead to failure, and then you do it anyway? That's what's gonna happen here. We are well over the 2/3 mark of this cake pan, but you know what? Let's just do it. It's been 30 minutes. I lowered the oven temperature down to 325 midway through because I started smelling the cake. And when you start smelling the cake, it usually means it's just about baked. But I wanted to make sure that it had even heating, so I dropped the temperature and let it cook for the full 30 minutes. While our cake is cooling, let's make our taro. For the taro cream, we're gonna peel the sides and make sure that none of that woodiness remains behind. We're going to cube them into about 1/2 inch cubes, and then we're gonna throw them in a large pot with a pinch of salt, and we're gonna cover it with water. We're going to let that boil and cook until it's completely tender and creamy. When we mash it with a fork, it might take 10, 12, even 15 minutes, depending. We're going to stir in our sugar. And we're gonna stir in our coconut cream while that mixture is still hot. We're gonna cook it and reduce it until it thickens to about the texture of peanut butter. When we're flipping the cake out, I just use an offset to go all around the edge of the cake pan very carefully, and then I gently tip it upside down until the cake plops into my hand. Then we'll let it cool off completely before we divide it into layers. We're going to go ahead, dump our blueberries, sugar, and a little bit of water into the pot until it gets to a nice syrupy consistency. We're going to strain this once it gets to that thick, syrupy texture. So we have a very pretty blueberry syrup jam compote creation. I'm hoping that this will help us dye the taro a little bit more vibrantly purple, and it tastes pretty sweet, very fruity, very fresh, slightly citrusy, which I think will balance out very nicely with the coconut milk that's in the taro. As for the taro, it's very smooth, very creamy, just like peanut butter. It kind of tastes like peanut butter too. What a delight. That's so good.
Dude, don't eat all the taro now, you need it for the cake.
I don't, this is my cake. Now that's what I call purple. So now we're going to transfer the taro into another container, and we're gonna let that cool completely while we work on our frosting. Before we move on to the frosting though, our cake is completely cooled. Now all I have to do is decide, do I want a 3-tier cake or a 2-tier cake? I wanna go 3, but hubris. This cake is just a little bit taller than 1.5 inches, meaning each layer will just be about 1/2 inch. Do we believe in me? Each layer will just be the width of my index finger. It's not very even, but I did it. So of course I don't have a cake stand because, again, home kitchen, but I do have these cake pans that I can just rotate off of a tray, so that's good enough, right? When you're decorating a cake, you really want to make sure that you're pushing your filling all the way out to the edges, and you can always clean it up later. But if you plop down a layer of cake on top and then you realize, damn, didn't go all the way to the edges, it's a little hard to ease it out later. What we're going to do is make a syrup out of sugar and water until it heats up to about 240 to 245 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, we're going to fit our stand mixer with a whisk attachment, drop our egg whites in there, add a tiny pinch of salt, and we're going to mix it on low speed until the syrup reaches about 215 degrees. Then we're going to jack this up to medium-high speed, wait for it to get completely opaque and foamy. And then we're gonna start streaming in our syrup when it hits 245 degrees Fahrenheit. At that stage, we're gonna plop in our softened butter and our splash of vanilla. Remember when I said I wanted a little richness in the frosting? So we're gonna add a little bit of butter. Well, I really shouldn't have added that little bit of butter. This is the consistency before I added the butter, and it sticks and it stays. And this is the consistency after I add the butter. If I keep shaking, I don't even know if it tastes better. Mistakes. And now I have a whole tub of really runny fluff. I think this probably happened because my kitchen is quite warm right now. The meringue was still kind of warm when I plopped in the butter, so it all just kind of melted. I'm gonna pop the whole mixer bowl into the fridge, let it set for maybe half an hour, and then we'll come back and maybe it'll be dayfall, nightfall, birthday fall. You know how it goes. Will we have a birthday cake while it's still my cake day? Doesn't matter now. Happy cake day to me. So I'm not quite sure what I did wrong, except I probably shouldn't have added the butter, but chemistry-wise, I'm not sure why one piece of butter would deflate and silken the entire bowl of meringue. If you know why this is happening, please let me know down below, because now's as good a time as any to learn what I did wrong. What we do have still is our blueberry compote and all the fibers that we pressed out. Funny thing about blueberries, there's a lot of pectin in here. If we whip this into our meringue, will it help the meringue set up just a little touch more? All I need is for the frosting to be slightly more stable so that I can ice the cake with it. I think what I'll do is take out half of the meringue, save it, put it back in the fridge while I work with half of it so that, I can still have something to fall back on. Tastes pretty good, but definitely still runny. It's a beautiful color though. Should we just frost it? I'm gonna fridge this baby overnight and we'll come back to him in the morning. And we're back. Same shirt, new person. Happy cake day to me, day 2. Yesterday was my birthday, today is my cake day. Let's decorate this baby. We can't forget about the fruit, can we? So here it is. Here's our beautiful cake day cake. And the blueberry icing is running all over the place and it's slowly encroaching upon our gel writing. Happy cake day to everybody in quarantine. Happy cake day to you. And many more. Let's eat cake, shall we? Perfect layers. It smells like cake. It smells like a little bit of eggs, a lot of sugar, a little bit of taro and creaminess from the coconut milk, more sugar. I think it's a great thing that we let the cake rest overnight, because yesterday when I tasted a cake scrap, it was kind of dry. I think I might have put too much flour in the cake batter, I'm not quite sure. But after it sat overnight in the fridge with the taro filling, which has moisture in it, that cake, it's pretty darn good. Most of my friends that I know have had taro and bubble tea applications, but I think if you like taro bubble tea, you are going to love this cake. Nothing artificial in here, as you saw. Taro is a very light color, but we colored it with more blueberry syrup, and it's like the perfect shade of lavender. Most of all, I'm just really impressed at my layering skills. I think we should take a moment to be inspired by this. Not gonna lie, I think this is pretty beautiful. It's like ugly beautiful, which my favorite things in life are usually ugly beautiful.
So make them up.
Aaron, eat cake.
Is this marshmallow on the side or
Yes.
something?
It's a marshmallow
Wow.
frosting. I can't use butter, so I can only use sugar and egg whites, which means marshmallow. You're not eating the taro. You avoiding the taro?
Which is the taro? Oh, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I am avoiding the taro. Yeah. I mean, it's mild. It's a nice, sort of pleasant, mild flavor. June,
Yeah,
this is the perfect food to make for your birthday.
it is.
Because you made it for yourself and without any regard to my preferences.
This is true. It's my birthday. It's my cake.
Yes. So it's all for you.
Oh, you don't like it?
I think it's perfect for you, Judy.
Cheers. I give myself, on this cake, a 10 out of fucking 10, baby. Because high standards, perfection, and yes to everything that is delicious and to your liking.
Jude, this is a family show.
For my birthday present, I want y'all to tell me what the absolute most delicious cake you've ever had in your entire life is down below. Do it. Thank you. And as always, stay hydrated, feed yourself good things, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.